Hello, this is Muhammad Usman and welcome to Usman Programming Tutorial, and this is the first tutorial of Web Application Development series. In this tutorial we will learn about the following things: how we create a C# project, then in C#, basics of C#, which includes creation of variables, input output in variables, conditional structure, iterative structure like loops, for, while, do while and other things, and the functions. So we will start from creation of a project. If you want to create a C# project, then you simply go to the file, new projects, then click on C#, and there are a lot of options you may select, but we are starting from the basics. So click on the console application, then you, whatever the name you want to give to your application, simply write it here and OK. You will come up with this kind of interface. Here is the name of your project and this is the class name. You might rename it. By default its name is program. Here is the main function. In this main function we can create a variable. Like if you know about the basics of the C++ or C, then learning a C# is very much fun for you. So starting from the creation of variable, here we have created two variables with the name num1 and num2. To write something on the screen, you use a console.writeLine. You can use cout in C++ or printf in C. Similarly, you can use a console.writeLine in C#. Console.writeLine is basically under the using like kind of header file is system. System is the header file of the console class, and writeLine is the function of the console. So you can use console.writeLine or console.write. There is a very basic difference between the write line and the write. If you use a write line, the next output will become on the next line if you use a write line, and if you use simply a write, then there is the same, the both output will become on the same line. Similarly, if you use a end L in the C++, there is the same effect of end L and the write line. What next? If you want to input something in that particular variable, then simply have to num1, like I have already write it here. Num1 is a variable which you want to take an input in that particular variable. This convert.to character is basically a kind of character. You simply use a console.readLine to input anything in that particular variable. But if your variable is a num1, which is a type of int, you have to convert it into convert.to int. Int 16, 32, 64 is a kind of spaces which might be assigned to that particular variable. I am just using it here, console to int 16. Whatever the input user entered it here using the console.readLine, it will convert it into 2 int 16 and then it will save into the num1. Similarly, if you want to take the input of the second variable, then you have to write it here. If you want to I have written it here to int 32, which is just the difference of the space, how much space you have assigned to this particular variable. Actually, C# is a memory efficient programming language, so there are more categories into the int as well. Then if you one more thing, if you want to enter a character value, then you simply change the type of the variable here. Then you have to write it here to character or to string, and whatever the input you want to take, you simply have to convert that into that particular format to save into the variable according to the data type. Then here is a conditional structure. Conditional structure, you similarly how you have already used in the C++. If you know, there is the same structure of C++ and the C# of using conditional structure. Num1 is a greater than num2, then you have simply write it here, console.writeLine, number 1 is greater. Then now I have used it here a grade, which is a kind of character. I have used it here a grade, which is a kind of character. Here I have applied a case A. If it is a grade value of the grade is equal to A, then the write I am A, and simply break. And similarly the default option is I am by. If you want to add more cases, then you simply copy paste this one like there, add it here another option, and simply write it here whatever the options or whatever the action you want to perform against this if the value of grade equals to b. This is what I have done in this program. What I have done is this program I have created two variables. I have taken input into that variables, then I have simply applied a check on num1 is greater than num2, then simply write a num1 is greater than greater or whatever, and simply applied a switch. If grade is equals to a, then write I am a. This is what I have done, and now I have checked whatever I have done is right or not. I have entered 9 for num1, 3 for num2. It's print a num1 is greater, and I have assigned a value to the character grade. It's simply print I am a. So now if you want to use the array or iterative structure into your program, how you can create an array? You can create an array by using simply and now if you want to use a iterative structure using the arrays or anything for anything other, you have to create an array. If you want to create an array, you have to follow this syntax. Like in C++, we can create a static array. We can fix the size at the runtime without using the new operator. New operator is basically used to dynamically allocate the memory for that particular variable. In C#, as C# is a memory efficient, so we can only create a array using the new operator, or we can say that we can only create dynamically an array. To create an array, we have to follow this syntax: the name of the data type of the variable, then this parenthesis, then the name of the array, then this new operator, and the how much size you want to assign to that particular array. Console.writeLine for outputting on the screen that I am going to take the input in an array. Here is a loop which is iterate 3 times, and I have used convert.toInt16, and whatever the input is entered by the user is converted into toInt16 and then assigned to that particular index of that array. Similarly, I have used again an array to loop to output the values of that particular array. This is how we can use the loop. If we run here, I have entered the values, and here it shows the values of that particular array. Now, to get the basic understanding of the functions in C#, I have created a variable name which is of type string in class program. Then I have created a couple of functions. Void setName function is used to set the value of that variable in which is declared in class program. Then the getName function which is get the value of that particular variable which is declared in class program. How can I access these functions? I have to, if I want to call this function, then I have to create that object of that particular class because the functions are in the class. So I have created an object P of class program. Then I have called the setName function using that object P. P.setName. As this program, this function setName is expecting the parameter of type string, so I have passed this function a string which is Hamza to this particular function. Then that string is assigned to NA, and this NA is assigned to that particular variable which is declared in the class program. Then a getName function is used to return the value of that variable which is declared in program class program. Then p.getName is this actually prints the value of this getName function. As this getName function is returning the value of name, so I have printed here. What it prints here is Hamza. Then if you want to create more functions, then you simply have to create the function as you have already created in C++ or C, if you know about that one. If you have not, then you have to read it about. P dot information is a function which is expecting the variable parameter of type int x. So I have passed it 2 value. This 2 is assigned to x, and then I have printed here with the function console.writeLine. If you add, if you print the more than one values or more than one string you want to concatenate, then you have to add the plus operator between the strings in the console.writeLine function. Okay. So this is how you can use the function in C# Basics. Now run this program by using Control F5. Here Hamza is printing I am a function of class program, and 2 is a value which I have passed to that function information. That's it. Thank you.